Okay guys, this video is going to be a little bit different. I used to have my computer and everything set up kind of out in the hallway. If you guys have seen some of my webcam videos, you can see doors and things, but I've decided to move it in here into my bedroom so I can shut the door and have it be a little bit quieter for making videos and editing and things like that. So since it's a desktop computer, it didn't have like built-in Wi-Fi, so I had to get a PCI Express Wi-Fi adapter. So I'm going to install that, and this is just going to be kind of a little hangout, just a video showing that people can be interested in lots of different things. A person is not just one-dimensional. There's, I like to go out and mill lumber and, work out in the woods and, build and be rough and tough and all that stuff, but I also enjoy, electronics and things like that. I was born in 1984, so, for the first 10 years of my life, I really didn't know much about what the internet even was. And up until I was probably 20, I didn't really use it all that often. Just at school, my family didn't have a computer at home, so. But I did like video games, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis all came out when I was a kid, so I do a little bit of video gaming. There's an original Xbox, we have an Xbox 360 too, but that's more for the kids. That thing doesn't get much use nowadays, but anyway, so I just thought I'd bring you into my world a little bit and kind of show you around. I have a surround sound hooked up to my computer and TV and all that, and I do like Elvis, and I have quite a bit of Elvis memorabilia. That right there is an original late 80s Teddy Ruxpin doll. My parents never could afford to get me anything like that when I was a little kid, so I've got one now. There's some more Elvis stuff. And I've actually been to Graceland 3 times, because it's not all that far from here, so. And I built this shelf myself. And yeah, so anyway, there's some of my stuffs, and here's where I make videos. And I used to have a smaller monitor than that, but when I built this computer, I decided I need a bigger one, so that's a 23-inch monitor. And then let's bust this case open and show you what's inside of there, and go ahead and install this wireless card. This is going to be kind of a how-to video, I guess. It's more or less just me hanging out with you guys, sharing a little bit more about myself, and it just seems like a lot of people on YouTube, say for example Wrangler Star. Every time Wrangler Star does something other than timber framing or something to do with axes, it seems like his subscribers or people just jump all over him. Like a person's not allowed to like more than one thing at a time. That just doesn't make sense. That's not how people are. But anyways, let's bust this case open and see what we're working with here. Okay, so I'm going to install this wireless adapter so that my desktop computer will be wireless enabled. It just takes up a single expansion slot, and it's just a PCI Express, just a little slot. Most people really don't even use the slots like this for much of anything anymore, but they're still useful. So I've disconnected the power and everything from the computer, and let's open the box, see what we get. Now for the money, I did a little bit of research. For the money, I can't see that you can get a better product than that. It's 150 megabytes per second, and our internet connection is 100 megabytes per second download and 5 megabytes per second upload. Most people in rural areas are not even going to have, you know, maybe 10 or 20 megabytes per second, so this is going to be good for just about everybody. And this particular card has a 2-year warranty and 24/7 technical support, and it got really good reviews from everybody that bought it, and it's only $12. So now don't think that I'm endorsing this for like any kind of review purposes or anything like that. I paid full price for this, so I didn't get any kind of breaks or anything. Oh wow, they even used the mini DVD for the driver. I haven't seen one of those in a long time. Quick installation guide, that just goes in the trash. Alright, this is your low profile bracket. I won't use that. I'll just use the full length expansion slot. So that'll go in my parts bin for future needs. And here's the wireless card in an anti-static bag. So we'll leave that in there until we're ready for it. And then I'll just take my thumb screw loose, take my side panel off. Okay, now there's a couple things that a few of you might notice right off the bat if you have any computer experience. This is probably the worst cable management job of anyone I've ever seen. So this case was a really cheap case, and I really didn't see another way to do it. So, but anyway, I built this computer so that I would have a more powerful machine for the money. If you go and buy a store-bought computer, you're not going to get a very good bang for your buck. If you build your own, you're going to get twice the machine for the same amount of money. And it's really not hard to build a computer. It's basically plug and play. It's almost as simple as color coded. So you might notice that I don't have a graphics card installed in my PCI Express 3.0 slot. That's because I have one of AMD's APUs. I have a A10 5800K APU, which what that is it's a quad-core CPU, but it also has an integrated GPU into it. And it's not like the old integrated GPUs where it's like really crappy and slow. It's like a 7800, you know, a Radeon HD 7800 or 7770 or something like that, basically in the CPU. So it's just as good as a big discrete card of, you know, maybe a couple of years ago. So it's a good economic way to get pretty good performance. This will play any modern game up to today. The games that are just released now, it will have to play at a lower setting, but it will still play them. And games that are about 1.5 to 2 years old, I can play on ultra high settings, cranked all the way up. So, and I overclocked this APU. It came factory 3.8 gigahertz, and I overclocked it to 4.2. And I've got 8 gigs of 1866 RAM. And then I've got, you know, a few hard drives here and a 500 watt power supply. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to install this card basically in that little spot right there with the two small holes right there by that motherboard battery. And so we'll have to take the expansion slot out that corresponds. So let me get a better camera angle. Okay, so I forgot to mention also that I only have $500 into this computer. So, you know, I already had the hard drives, and basically that's it. I bought everything else, so $500, and it's at least an $800 or $900 computer if you would buy it from an actual retail store. Anyways, back to this. So there's the slot we're going to plug it into. So we need to come straight across here and remove one of these expansion bays that's directly in line with that. I apologize if my head gets in the way. I just need to see for a second. Okay, it's this one. But you have to be careful because on my motherboard there's two little pins right here, right next to that. So you don't want to snap them or anything. Okay. And I'm always touching on the case and everything, make sure I'm grounded good. So here's the card. I'm just going to take and unscrew the antenna portion like that. Sometimes you'll have like plastic protector on the pins, but in this case we don't. So all we're going to do is just make sure our wires are not in the way. We'll just kind of slide that down in there, and then there we are, and there, it clicked into place. And so now we're just gonna put a screw right here in the top of this bracket to hold it secure. And it don't have to be like Hercules tight, just kind of snug. Give that a quick little push, make sure it's in, and really that's it. Now we just put our side panel back on. I'm just gonna throw my thumb screw back in it here. Normally you'd have one for the bottom too, but I lost mine. So, and that's what it looks like installed. So now we'll screw on our antenna. Make sure it's fairly snug. And we'll point that to the up position. And now our desktop is wireless, so it'll work anywhere in the house now. So let me get this all hooked back up, and then I'll install the drivers and we'll see how it works. Okay, so I'm hoping you guys will be able to see the screen okay. I'm just gonna go into my BIOS real quick and show you guys that I did in fact overclock the APU 5800K running at 4.2 gigahertz, and the RAM frequency is 1866. Okay, I've got dual boot on this, so I've got Windows 7 and Windows 8.1 on here, but I always use 8.1. Soon I plan on trying Windows 10 possibly. And yes, I did install a DVD tray in my computer. Lots of people don't nowadays, but I did. Alright, while installing the utility, I'm going to bring you in for a kind of a closer look here. Okay, let's see if we can see this or not. That little bar symbol with the asterisk above it, that tells me that the antenna is working. Okay, so now, for some reason it's showing a pretty low signal strength. And my wireless router is only about 20 feet away, so I don't know what that's about, but let's try to go online and see if we can test the speed and see what we're getting. Alright, let me see if I can get you guys in here.
You're definitely connected though, because I just got a notification on my laptop.
Okay, it looks like maybe we need to update our driver here. Okay, so basically what was going on was the driver that came on the little disc was way outdated, so I just had to go to the website and download better drivers, more up to date. I'm still not getting the speed that, you know, that I have through the cable company, but for a wireless connection I can handle 22 megabytes down and 5.84 up. The 5 megabytes upload speed is what is the maximum of what I'm supposed to have. Now, when I had this directly connected with an Ethernet cable, I was getting 104 megabytes per second download speed, but that's still 22 megabytes is still plenty to watch any, you know, ultra high definition YouTube video uninterrupted. So, and then of course our signal is much better. Well, that's full signal right there, so we should be good to go. Anyway, I hope this was maybe at least a little entertaining for everyone. So I guess we'll catch you on the next video.